absolutely a brilliant movie. I can't even put into words how fucking amazing this is. Hello, bonjour! Hey, what's up, everybody? Beautiful humans of planet Earth. The big, green, beautiful planet Earth. I don't usually do movie reviews. In fact, I've never done a movie review in like a decade of making videos.
I value my time, so I stopped watching Hollywood movies because they're all fucking shit and I hate them. But it's hard to quit porn, you know? I like porn. Because at least with porn movies, you decide when the movie ends.
But I had to do it for this one. Holy shit. This movie I saw the other day, automatically, it is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It's going to be top 5, but it's actually the most enlightening as well on so many levels. Like, this movie just tears into the fabric of everything that's considered normal in our society. I'm going to talk about this later, but this movie was actually banned in many, many countries. You weren't allowed to see it, apparently, in Russia. I heard some parts of Asia, and I think even the UK, but I'd have to double check. But absolutely a brilliant movie. I can't even put into words how fucking amazing this is. And by the way, the fact that you haven't seen it is shocking. Because when a movie is this good and funny and just brilliant, it's like it should be one of those movies like The Matrix. Like, how weird would it be if you ran into somebody and you're like, yeah, and you refer to The Matrix and they're like, what?
Hello, Neo. Do you know who this is?
Are you serious? That's my reaction now to like the fact that humans haven't seen this movie. It's like, how is that possible? And there is a reason, and it's because they don't actually want you to see the movie. So this movie is basically about, there's basically another sort of like a planet, or you could say it's like another dimension, that people are basically human, but they're really on a high level of consciousness. They're pretty much like enlightened, or very close to it. And every year they send people to these other realms as like representatives to like help other realms raise their vibration, essentially, and just check out how they're doing and help them out. And so at the beginning of the movie, the very first scene is them saying, okay, well, who wants to go to Earth, right? And of course, they ask for all these other planets, and everyone's like, yeah, sure, I'll go down. And they're like, who wants to go to Earth? And then everyone's like, it's just crickets, right? So nobody wants to go. One of the jokes is, they sent Jesus down there, and look what happened to him. So they're not exactly eager to head back down. So basically, yeah. So somebody does go down there in the end, and the whole movie is basically them just ripping into just how fucking ridiculous our whole way of living is, how disconnected we are, how cut off we are from the heart, how we don't feel or love, and just commercialism and all of it. It's just shat on so brilliantly. It's just like you I can't see anybody not laughing their asses off watching this movie. There's so many brilliant scenes in the movie. One guy gets in a minor car accident where his mirror is like barely scratched, and he just fucking loses it. And then the other guy who's awake basically loses it back and explains to him just how the guy's an asshole. You really realize how uptight and rude people are on our planet. You know what I mean? Because you see some of these behaviors and you're like, oh yeah, people are like that all the time, and it's completely uncalled for. One of the things that really sticks out is that the people who are enlightened and awake and are the high level masters, they seem crazy on planet Earth, right? Like everyone on planet Earth thinks they're fucking crazy, but they're not. They're awake and you're asleep. And that's what's going on here, right? The people who really are awake as to what's going on, and they're like, hey, let's all love each other and come together, and we're all one family, and they're high level, and in their hearts, people will just be like, oh yeah, they're basically rather either crazy or they're just hippies or whatever, but they're dismissed.
Get out of the way, you tree-hugging fruit!
But actually, those people are a much higher level consciousness than the rest, who are just like, let's attack that country and take their resources. Fuck them. So yeah, there's so many amazing, like, I don't even want to mention the scenes. Like, I'd rather everybody just discover the movie for themselves. But I'll just say it's genius. And the really fascinating thing about this movie is the fact that it was suppressed, and that even now, like, you can sort of find it, but it's tough to find. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. It's barely really out there, and several countries tried to ban it. Here's what's fascinating: there's no violence in the movie. There's no violence. There's no nudity. There's barely even any swearing. So we're talking about, like, the movie was actually rated PG, right? Parental guidance. But like, it's not restricted. It's not even close to restricted. And actually, there's no real reason for it to be PG in this day and age, like because kids use the same swear words that are in the movie. So even though it's in French, French kids they swear. So there's no reason for the movie to be suppressed. And the only reason I can think of is that in the movie they actually talk about a future where humanity came together and people stopped buying all these products that were toxic and bad for the planet, and everybody threw them out and stopped buying them. And all the politicians and other people who were responsible for destruction of the planet actually were basically thrown in jail. That's in there. That's probably the way things are going to go on our little planet here, and that's a very dangerous idea. And the fact that that's the only thing you can say is like a threat to the forces that be or whatever. That's in there, and the movie, like, they tried to ban it. That's how. The fact it's just making fun of society, right? And that bit there is the only thing I can really think of that they're like, okay, yeah, we don't want people to get this idea, so we'll just try and get rid of this movie. Other movies that were banned, like Clockwork Orange, for example, they had brutal, gory violence. So I get it. It's like, okay, yeah, if they're glorifying that it's cool to go around beating the shit out of people, I get it. Like, I wouldn't want my kids to see a Clockwork Orange either, not till they were at least like grown up. Like, I really wouldn't want them to see it. I get it. That makes sense. But this movie, man, seriously, where the people who are awake go around and they do their little magic-y move, and then they pop your level of consciousness, and then you wake up and you start running around hugging trees and shit and loving on everybody. That movie's banned. You know what I'm saying? That really that gets you thinking. That's all I'm saying. That this movie was. That just really gets you thinking as to who's running the show and what's the agenda. Anyway, go watch the movie. It's great. I can only say that it's really inspired me because it's really the perfect example of what I have always felt is my highest calling, which is waking people up and raising the vibration, but while staying in my authentic vibration, which is comedy and humor and just having fun, right? So that's always kind of like, for my whole life, I've sort of been moving in that direction of like, okay, first I was just funny, then I was waking up, and now it's like, oh, okay, I want to be waking people up and humor together, and that's sort of the evolution I'm going through now with what I'm doing with my comedy therapy and some sketches I'm doing now and a bunch of stuff. And you can always click on the links below if you want to see all the projects I got going on and whatever. But yeah, epic movie. Go watch it right away and let me know if you like this, if you like the movie, and if you like me doing this movie breakdown and getting the word out there about this, and if you want to see more movie reviews like this in the future. Okay, sending you much love. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
Si ça se trouve, ils sont encore en train de faire jojo avec les ordinateurs sans s'occuper de leur cerveau. Ils doivent en exploiter à peine un dixième de leur cerveau.
Ils doivent avoir la taille d'une crotte de mouton, leur cerveau. Ça ne sert à rien d'y aller, ils évoluent à leur rythme. C'est comme la salade, c'est pas en tirant dessus qu'elle poussera plus vite.
Oui, mais on pourrait y mettre un peu d'engrais sur leur salade.
Bah oui, on déconnecte un petit paquet de gens bien choisis, ça les bouscule.
Alors des volontaires? Allez, une seule, là, plein de courage.